So thinking about those basic shapes and forms that I created for my experimenting, I created the tube, the half of a ball, the half of a box, and the cone. I want to think about what are these shapes that I have and how could I turn that into a form. So the bottom part of my cupcake that I see here, I see a tube. And so I started by just drawing the outline of a tube on my paper for my sketch. And I have a tube there. Now I can decide that I want the cupcake, the top part, the frosting, to be like this cone here. But when I put that on top of each other, it doesn't look as organic as these ridges in the frosting. It might not be able, we might not understand exactly what we're looking at. So instead, I think that it looks similar to the half of a ball, and how I have more flexibility in changing the shape of these half circles into the shape that I drew here. So I could draw that shape and cut that out to be a half of that, and then I could put that all the way around my cupcake and have that shape for the frosting so that it's more recognizable. We know what we're looking at. So then I went over here and I tried to draw what that could look like with the half ball shape, but with the cupcake shape in mind that I drew here. And that's what I got there. And then I again redrew that just to show all of those details that I wanted to include. I wanted to add layers on the bottom here to show these ridges, these lines in the bottom of my cupcake. And then also the sprinkles in the top as negative space to add to that again so it's recognizable, we know what we're looking at. Then down below, I needed to start drawing out the shapes that I need to cut out of whatever material I'm using to create this form. So for the tube, I know to make a tube that I start with an actual rectangle that turns and bends to make the tube. So I drew a rectangle here. Then I knew that I needed a circle for the bottom and the top of my tube. So I drew a circle and I put ×2 in there. Then I knew that I needed this shape of the cupcake that I wanted to include in the top here. And I simplified it a little bit from this one, but I could add another ridge if I wanted to. And I knew that I wanted about 8 of those, and I can always add more or less. And then again, I wanted to add a layer for those lines in the bottom of my cupcake. So I drew that shape and I put how many I wanted to do in that. That will give you a good starting place for knowing what you're going to cut out of your material to help you create this sculpture.